What is up, everyone? It is Monday, Labor Day. I just got back from Las Vegas yesterday. I did lose money, but I didn't lose much, so overall not too bad. I lost like $500, which last time I went, I think I lost 1,200. So I made money. I made $700 this time, something like that. Anyway, so I am going to play a little bit of the APBA football, and in order to do that, I have to get. I'm just looking through here. Which one's the best? This one? That's too. You definitely don't need that one. Nobody needs to see my feet down here. It's weird. Let's see. What about this one? This one isn't terrible. I guess we'll just go back to this one. So I'll go back to this one for now. So you guys, I'm going to set up a game. Now the problem is I'm going to play a game from 1972. I have Oakland and Pittsburgh here. These are two of the great teams from that 70s decade, and I don't have the team sheets. You can see on the screen right here, I have 6 team sheets done. They're for the 3 games I've played. I need to create the team sheets. So before we play, I'm going to run you through how I do this. I saw Dave do it last week and thought, it's a great idea for a video. I haven't done it in a while. I need to do it anyway, so why not turn the camera on and record it at the same time? So let's do that. The first thing I'm going to do is we'll start with Oakland. And the first thing that I do, actually, let's come over here. Let's sort by who's the newest. And that's going to be the Jets that I made back in August. And we'll make a copy of it. And we'll go in and we'll just change it to Oakland. You guys can't see the keyboard. It's a little out of view, but you can see Oakland Raiders. So we got the Raiders. I'll go into it. Now, this is going to be the Jets one because I made a copy of it. And let's see. And what I'll do here is I'll just delete everything. So I have my sheet. We're going to delete all of this. All right, I'm going to delete this. All right, so this is a blank one. Let's get rid of my logos. Let's go Oakland Raiders. And all right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the cards out. So let me flip over here. What's this one look like? Is that a good one? No, that's a terrible one. How about that one? Oh, that'll work. All right. So, and you got this little. This is my History Maker golf one. Do I have a better one? I don't think so. I think we're gonna go. What's this? It's a little bit better. Yeah, I don't feel like setting any. Oh, there we go. There we go. All right. Let's go with the NASCAR, the red, white, and blue racing one. All right. Here we go. All right. So we got our Oakland Raiders here. So if I take them out of the envelope, they're going to be alphabetical because, again, I've not gone through this set at all. So you've got all these different cards, alphabetical. And what I do is I separate them into, 6 piles, but then there's always some that are off to the left a little bit. So we're going to go defensive backs, running back, and wide receiver. We're going to go kicker and wide receiver, offensive line, defensive back, offensive line. And this is all I do. I just do this quickly. And I have defensive line, linebackers, defensive backs, offensive line, and then I just have all the skill players, and then I'll throw the quarterback here, and I'll throw the special teams guys over here off to the left a little bit. Let me run through this. Center. I saw some pretty high ratings in here. I'm glad. I was a little bit worried that I grabbed a bad team, but I know the Raiders of the 70s were good. All right, so linebacker, defensive end. Daryl LaMonica, he's a 4. Wow, I didn't even know who the quarterback was. Okay, Daryl LaMonica is a 4. All right. Have you guys watched the video on the NFL Throwback channel of every team's quarterback history? It's like 5 hours long. I mean, you should just stop watching this video and go watch it. It's fantastic. Okay, so here we have Jim Otto. He's a center and an ET2, so he's a center 4. But he's also a C1, so he catches passes. I'm going to put him in the offensive line section, but I have to remember to add him into the receivers locator section when I'm doing this. Tackle guard. Art Shell's a tackle. Siani. Otis Sistrunk. He's a defensive tackle. Charlie Smith. Kenny Stabler, the snake. He's a 2. Tatum. Man, pretty good team. I'm seeing a lot of high numbers here. Phil Villapiano. All right, so we got our six groups. We've got our quarterbacks here. I'm going to move them off to the side. We've got our special teams there. Let's just start with the defense. Let's move these out of the way. And here's what I do. I just look for anything 3 or higher. So let's see. So I'm looking. I see a 4. Horace Jones is a 4, so he's going to be a defensive end. Then everybody else, you got Tom Keating's a 2. He's not going to be in there. Everybody else is a 3. All right, so we got a tackle. Since we have a tackle and not a nose tackle, it's going to be a 4-3. All right, and there. So now we have these 2 guys are 2s, Tom Keating and Carlton Oates. So they're not going to matter. We'll throw them over here for now. So we're going to have Horace Jones, Art Toms, Otis Sistrunk, and Tony Klein as our defensive line. Let's get our linebackers. Villapiano's a 4. Gus Otto's a 3. Okay, we got Dan Connors. We got another middle linebacker, 3. We got Gerald Irons as a linebacker, 3. And the other 3 guys, Joe Carroll, Greg Slaw. I guess that would be Shuck and a Sluck if you go by Tyler Shuck rules. He's a 2. And then Terry Mendenhall's a 2. We'll put them off to the side. And we got to figure out which one of these 2 middle linebackers is going to sit because we're going to have a 4-3. And they're both 3s. He's a W2. He's a QS1. I'm going to take the W2 because he has a higher number in his column. I don't know. All right, so we got our 3s. Everybody so far is a linebacker 4-4-4. Nobody is like a 4-3 or a 3-4, so that's good. We'll move them there. Now let's get our defense. That's our front 7. Now let's do our defensive backs. We got Nehemiah Wilson. I've never heard of him before. Jack Tatum is a 4. Oh, look at Willie Brown. Downtown Willie Brown's a 5. We got our strong safety. So these 3 guys are 2s. Most APBA team packages are going to give you enough guys to where you have at least a 3 at every position, unless the team's really bad, and then you'll have some 2s. But most teams are going to give you 3s at every position, which is good. So now we're going to grab these in the same order. Then I'm going to write them in. So we're going to end, tackle, middle linebacker, tackle, end, linebacker, corner, and I never know if it's free safety or strong safety. Okay, it's strong safety and free safety. So now we've got our defensive starters. We have our defensive backups. So we're good there. All right. So let's do the offense now. All right, so we're going to start with the offensive line. We've got Gene Upshaw as a 4, Art Shell as a 4, Jim Otto as a 4, George Bueller as a 3, and then he's a guard. And then Bob Brown is a tackle 3. Our other 3 guys are 2s. That works out. Let's look at our skill players. We need 5 of them. Now, there's different ways you can do this. I go by the rankings when it comes to making a lineup because I want the highest possible offensive rating that I can get. So I go by the rankings. I'll look at who ran the ball the most in a little while. So we got Charlie Smith as a 3, Mike Ciani, a wide receiver 3. Let's see. We got fullback Marv Hubbard. Hey, what's up, Marv? He's a 4. So that's good. We got Clarence Davis is a 3. We got Raymond Chester as a 4. Cliff Branch, only a 2. Oh, there's Freddie Bolitnikoff as a 5. So we're going to get rid of one of these 3s. We'll get rid of Mike Ciani, even though he's a B. We'll get rid of him. We got to get rid of one of these. We got to get rid of one of these running backs. So we'll keep Charlie Smith because Clarence Davis is a C1 and Charlie Smith's a B3. So we'll do it that way. That's kind of how I do it. Pete Banaszak, another halfback. He's a C1. We either need a wide receiver or a tight end here. And it's probably going to be Mike Ciani as an EB3. Yep. All right. So that is the highest possible offensive rating I can give them right there. And I'll worry about carries and targets and everything in a little while. So then we have our boy Daryl LaMonica. He is a quarterback 4. He's also the backup punter. Oh, he's got a good card. 25 is a 6. 35 is a 9. He's just 42 is a 10. 64 is a 12. We're going to get a lot of completions out of him. Short yardage completions, but we'll get them. So now we're going to pick these up in the order that I'm going to type them in. We'll start with Bolitnikoff as an EB. Then we'll go to the offensive line. Tackle, guard, center, guard, tackle. Then tight end. It's going to be Raymond Chester, an A4. Then we go fullback, quarterback, wide receiver, and – oh, wait, that's not right. It goes tight end and then cornerback. And then fullback, wide receiver, halfback. All right, so there's your offensive players. And we've got our offensive backups right here. This is our backup offensive line. Jim Otto. I got to make sure I keep him in there. Is he starting? Oh, he must be a start. Oh, no, he's on the defensive side, right? Yeah, I don't remember. I'll catch him. Don't worry. All right, so these are your backup skill players, and this is your entire offense. So we're good. Now we're ready to start typing into the sheet. And then I think is right here. We had a better one. Let's see. No, we don't really have a better one here. Let's see. No. Okay, we're going to have to go with, we'll go with this one. All right, so here's where we're going to start typing into our sheet. And what we're going to do is I'm going to start on the offensive side. Pull my keyboard a little bit forward here since you can't see the in front of me. I'm just going to pull the keyboard forward. We're going to type. We're going to start with Freddie Biletnikoff. Whoops. So Fred Biletnikoff. And he is a 5. And then over here under my receiving grades, I'm going to type him again. Did I get that right? Bilet, like that. Yeah, Biletnikoff. There we go. And he is an A6. So that's what we're going to type for Biletnikoff. All right, we'll move to our offensive line. Bob Brown is a 3. So because Bob Brown does, you can't see it. Let me flip back here. Boom. Because Bob Brown is a pass receiving D, he doesn't have a number there. The D's don't have numbers. The highest you're going to see is C. So D's don't have numbers. He did not have any targets all season. So I'm not going to put him in that slot. I'm just going to type him into the lineup. And we'll go with George Bueller. And he is a 3. Then we'll go with, there's Jim Otto. So we'll go Jim Otto. He's a center 4. Again, I'll show it to you again here. He is a center 4 and an ET2. So he's a C1. So he's going to be your starting center. But every now and then, he must have gone out for a pass. Maybe he had a couple of targets. So I'm going to type him over here. Jim Otto. And he was a C1. So we'll type him in there. Okay. Next, Gene Upshaw. Isn't he like the head of the Players Union or something nowadays? His name sounds very familiar to me. He's a 4. Art Shell. It's a great right side of the line of scrimmage. Also a 4. Raymond Chester, tight end. Also a 4. And he is an A4. Chester. He's an A4. And then I've got Daryl LaMonica. Daryle. Come on now, Daryl. Don't get tricky. LaMonica. He is also a 4. Marv. A lot of 4s on this team. Holy cow. Marv Hubbard is a 4. He's also a C2 as the fullback. So he's a C receiver, but he's a 2. So he wasn't, he had more than just a couple of targets all season. C2. And then you've got Mike Ciani. He is a 3, and he is a B3. Whoops. Okay. And then lastly, we have Charlie Smith. And he is a B3. Oops, that's not right. He is a 3. And then he's a B3 over here. All right, so we've got all the starters done. You can see there are 41. So again, average is 33 because that's everybody where everybody's a 3. There are 41. That's really good. Now let's grab a hold of the other skill positions. So we've got all these guys here here we go. We got all these guys here that didn't start, that didn't get into the lineup. Banasak, let me run through them here. We got Pete Banasak, you got Jeff Queen, Bob Moore, Don Highsmith, Cliff Branch, and Clarence Davis. Now what we're going to do with them is we're going to put them over here so we have their receiving locator. We'll start with Pete Banasak. And he is a C1, so he didn't have many targets. We've got Jeff Queen, who does not have anything. So even though he's a fullback 2, he's a C, but he doesn't have a number. And if he doesn't have a number, he didn't have enough targets for them to put a number in there. So I'm not going to worry about him. We'll just get him out of the way. And then we've got Bob Moore, not Rob Moore. Bob Moore. He's a C1. We've got Don Highsmith. And I never worry about putting these in any kind of an order. So the best players don't have to be at the top. It can be in any order because it's all dice rolls. It doesn't matter. We go Cliff Branch. He must have been young. Cliff Branch was pretty good, wasn't he? 1948. So he's 20. He's 24 when this game is being played. So he was a little bit young. He's a C1. And we have one more. We have Clarence Davis. And he's these guys are in the way. So I'm going to let's move some stuff out of the way here. And then we'll move these down. And of course, it's going to mess up the centering. I hate that. Yes. All right, so then we'll go here and we'll type in Clarence Davis. And he is also a C1. All right, so let's this is where the I don't want to say OCD. I don't know what word it is that I'm looking for here. But this is where this takes place, to where I like to have everything looking a certain way. Where's my borders? Where are my borders? I know there they are. So border, it's going to be all borders. That's good. So now we've got to deal with our running back. We got to redo the alignment. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to. Oh, I got to do these two. Hang on. Excel. All right. Oh, it's all of them. Jesus. All I'm doing is merging them into one cell. And done. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up Internet Explorer, or Chrome, I guess. Nowadays it's called Chrome. And I'm going to type in the Oakland Raiders 1972 stats. And it is going to take me to Pro Football Reference. Sometimes NFL.com gets its sneaky little nose in that first option. I accidentally click it. I hate that. All right, there we go. So John Madden was their head coach. They went 10-3-1. Did they win the Super Bowl? Who won the Super Bowl this year? No, they lost to Pittsburgh in the divisional round. Wow, so this is going to be a playoff matchup. Let's go to their stats, why didn't they come up? There we go, stats. All right. Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay, now let's sort our running backs by carries. Oh, Marv was the leading rusher. Wow. Okay, so let's sort our running backs, and then we're just going to type their names in. So Marv had 219 carries. And we'll go back, and we'll look at Charlie Smith with 170. All right, and we'll go back. What is this? No way. And Clarence Davis with 71, and Pete Banaszak with 30. We'll go with those four. So Clarence Davis, 71, and Pete Banaszak, I think that's right, had 30. So if you look at the rushing, the way that I do it is LaMonica had 10. I mean, Don Highsmith, I guess I could put him in there with 9 carries. That means he'll be a 66 on the locator, and he won't. I mean, I'll have to roll a 66 for him to get a carry, which could happen. I mean, where's he at? Let's see. Don Highsmith, he's a half. You know what? He's a halfback 2. So we'll throw him on there. What the heck? All right, so he's a halfback 2. So let's throw him on there with 9 carries. Then I'm not going below that. That's kind of just, I kind of guess at it as I go. All right, so all right, our offense is completely done, except for we haven't come up with the locators. We'll do that in a second. Next thing we're going to do is go to our defense. And this one's a little bit trickier. So we'll start with typing the player in. So this is Horace Jones. And he is a 4. But he's also a QS6. So I'll type him down here in the sack section. Horace Jones. And he's a QS6. And you can see that. Oh, man, I keep forgetting that I'm not showing that screen. There it is. So you can see that here. Horace Jones, he's a 4. And he's a QS6. No W, no interceptions. So just quarterback sack. So we'll go with that. Next, we're going to go Art Toms. Or is it Thoms? I assume it's Toms. Art Toms. He is a 3. Now he's a defensive tackle. But if you look, he's got W2 and QS3. He's also FR0 and W20. So if he gets a fumble recovery or an interception, he's not returning. He's falling on it right there. That 0 means 0 yards. But he gets interceptions and sacks. So we'll type him in there. So we'll go Art Toms. We'll go here first. Art Toms. And that was a W2. I'm sorry, QS3. And then we'll go down to the interceptions one, and we'll type his name. Art Thompson, he's a W2. Okay. Dan Connors as my middle linebacker. He's a 3. W2. There's a 2. All right. Otis Sistrunk, defensive tackle. Whoops. Otis Sistrunk, 3. He is also a W2 and a QS3. Then we've got Tony Klein, also a W2 QS3. Their defensive line were backing up into coverage and getting interceptions, apparently. And he's a 3. And he is a 2. And a 3. Then we go to Phil Villapiano. He's a 4. And he's a W4, so he's an outside linebacker. He's a W4. He's also a QS1, so he snuck in and got a couple quarterback sacks. QS1. Got Gerald Irons. He is a 3. Wow, these guys, all of them. He's a W3 and a QS1. Boy, their defense is flying all over the place. QS1. Then we've got this Nehemiah Wilson. Nehemiah. Is it Nehemiah or just Nehemiah? Nemiah. I never heard that name before. He's a 3. He's a W5. And a QS1. And then we've got Downtown Willie Brown. He's a 5. And he's a W4 QS1. Wow, the number of players Oakland has that gets both sacks and interceptions. That's pretty impressive. Willie Brown is a W4. And a QS1. And then you've got George Atkinson as your strong safety. And he's a 3. And he's a W4. And finally we have Jack Tatum. And he's a 4. Did I write Tatus? Yeah, Tatum. And he's a 4. And a W4. And I'll tell you what, having no players that are good against the run, like a 4-3 or a 3-4 or a 4-2, that's pretty surprising. Everybody's good against both run and pass. Okay, we got to get to the backups now. So now we'll take the backup defensive players. We're going to start with Carlton Oates. And all we're going to do is fill in interceptions and sacks. Carlton Oates is a QS1. Tom Keating. So okay, there's one right there. Tom Keating, you can see, is a 3. He's a 2, technically, but actually he's a 3-2. So if you're playing the master game, he's a 3 against the pass and a 2 against the run. That's how you would do it. If he was in my starting lineup, that's what I would do. And I would have 2 different ratings for pass versus run. But he has a QS4, so we will enter him in right here. So he is a QS4. Joe Carroll has nothing. Greg Slough has nothing. Terry Mendenhall has nothing. Gus Otto, he is a QS1. I don't know if it's Jim Otto's brother. Jimmy Warren is a cornerback, nothing. Skip Thomas, nothing. And finally, Tommy Maxwell, nothing. So really, the starters are really good. The bench guys don't do much. So let's reconfigure this here. Let's go border, no border, and then we'll go here and go bottom border. Boom. We'll move this back down. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the runs versus passes. So back to Pro Football Helper or Pro Football Reference, 521 carries, 370 passing attempts. So this is a big heavy run team here. 521 and what did I say? 370. Yeah, 370 passing attempts. Wow, that's a big one. So that means they are a 58-42. So when I play the game, I'll play it as 60-40, where they will run the ball 60% of the time and throw the ball 40% of the time. I let the dice do all that stuff. So there you go. That's done. And while I'm in Pro Football Helper, let's get the logo. So let's do a little snip. All right, so snip and new, and then we'll just grab a hold of this here. And it showed up over on this screen. I don't care. Oh, no, it didn't. It showed up there. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, so let's go copy, back to here and paste. Make it a little smaller. Move it up here. Go a little bit bigger than that. All right, we'll go Control-CV, get a copy, and there you go. And that's done. The only thing left now are all the locator numbers. We're going to do that next. But first, I'm going to put the cards in the order that I'm going to pull them out. So let me go to here, and I'll back up the keyboard. I'll bring everybody out. So the way that I play it is the quarterbacks, running backs, and special teams guys are the ones that are on the screen. Or, I mean, on the board. Everybody else is in a pile. So let's get the offensive line out of there. We've got our receivers. There's our quarterback. Here's Hubbard, and here's Charlie Smith. Here's our three receivers. So we need Hubbard, Charlie Smith. I need Clarence Davis. What's up, Clarence? We got Highsmith is another one. So Clarence Davis is another one. And Pete Banaszak. So there's your quarterback and your 6 running backs. So I put them in this order. Quarterback, and then I go Hubbard in the order of their carries. Smith, Davis, Banaszak, Highsmith. So those are I start with those 5. Now we need special teams. So we've got our kicker and our punter. We got Blanda and DePoyster right here. So there's your kicker and punter. We need our TA and our OA. So we got Cliff Branch. He's a TA. He's also an OB because that's good because I like to get those too. So you got our TA and our OA. Now we got to find our TA and our OB. Oh, here's our OA. It's Clarence Davis. Look at all the things he does. Oh, Clarence Davis is a 2-3. Okay, he didn't make the starting lineup. Never mind. So he's our OA. So we got an OA, an OB. We need a TB now. So Clarence Davis is going to be our OA. We need a TB. Because in this game, more than you'd think, you get the backup kick returner and punt returner sometimes out there. Let's see. Where's our TB? Where is our TB? Nope. There are guys here. Our TB. Is it a defensive back? Not Tatum. Oh, there he is. It's George Atkinson is your TB. So those guys I pull out. So I pull out the KA, the KOA, usually the same guy, and the PA. You got those two right here. Blanda is KA, KOA. DePoyster's your punter. He's your PA. That's good. Then I pull out your TA and your TA is right there. It's Cliff Branch. I pull out your OA. That's Charlie Davis. You can see in the little tiny print right there. Clarence Davis right there. But I also pull out the TB, the backup punt returner, which is George Atkinson, and Cliff Branch is also our OB. So I want the starting kick returner, punt returner, and the backups. Again, because you'll see a lot of D10, D11. You'll see a lot of 09, 010 when it's time to return kicks. So then I'll put them in this order. Got my quarterback, all my running backs. And then I always go OA, Clarence Davis, TA, and then the TB, OB if I need them. They're right here. Then I go punter and kicker. So now I've got my pile of – these are the 9 guys that you're going to see. And there might be more than 9. We'll talk about that. These are the 9 guys you're going to see on the screen. Then I put them in order like this. Wide receivers and running backs. And then offensive line. And then backup offensive line. And then the quarterback. So now there's your entire offense right there and your special teams. Then we have our defense. We've got our defensive starters, our defensive backups. I'm going to put the starters on top, and I'm going to go like that. And there's the pile. I'm going to put it back in the envelope so when I'm ready to play, it's ready for me. So now let's do some math. Everybody loves math. So here's where we got to figure out the locators, basically. And all that means is Fred Biletnikoff is a 6. I don't know what a 6 means. It means some unit of measurement to determine how many catches or targets. I'm not even sure they go catches or targets. I'm going to guess they go catches. But how many? I'm going to go targets. Let's just say targets. That makes more sense to me. So I'm going to say that's some kind of a locator to determine 6 out of some number is how many times he got the ball thrown to him. What we're going to do is we're just going to copy all of these over here. 2, 3, 3, and then we're going to go down to 1. I'm going to sum the whole column. And it's going to be a 24. 24 is actually going to be a good number because it's going to make for some round numbers. Then what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what the percentage. So 24 is your total. Biletnikoff was a 6. So I'm going to divide M5 divided by N. I put a dollar sign 6. Not M. M. Dollar sign 16. There you go. And that's going to give me that Fred Biletnikoff, 6 out of 24. 25% of the time, he got target. So he was a 25% target guy, which is fantastic. Then I'm going to bring this all the way down. I'm going to scroll this all the way over. And now we have the percentages for each player. Jim Otto, 0.04. So that's not very much. That's like 1. That's less than 0.5% that he got, which makes sense because he's a center. He went out for a couple passes. Raymond Chester, an A4. He's at 16%. So the percentages kind of make sense. Now we're going to figure out what that percent of dice rolls is. So there's 36 total dice rolls. If Fred Biletnikoff got the ball 25% of the time, then he's going to get 25% of the dice rolls, which is going to be right around 11 to 24. So let's do the math, and we'll say N equals N 5 times 36. So it's 9. So 9 out of 36 dice rolls belong to Freddie Biletnikoff. Then we're going to scroll this down. And now you can see everybody's here, and this is going to make it a little tough because we got a lot of 0.5s here. I'm going to have to make some decisions. And what I do now is I round it off. So 1.5 becomes 2. These all become 5, and then we go 2 all the way down. And the problem is we need 36 dice rolls, and that's a 40. So what I'm going to do is take the last 4 guys, and I'm just going to make them all 1s. Actually, Cliff Branch is a name I know. Let's keep him, and Banaszak's a name I know. Let's go Jim Otto. Let's just make him a 1. He's an offensive 1. So that right there had nothing to do with math or what happened in real life. That was just me making changes to make this number equal 36 because we have 36 dice rolls. So what I'll do now is I'll come up here and I'll say, okay, he's a 9. So he's 11 to 23. Yeah, 23. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 21, 22, 23. That's 9. So if I roll an 11 to 23, he's your target on the play. Jim Otto is going to be a 24. Now, Raymond Chester gets 6 shots at it. So he's a 31, he's a 25 to 34. 25, 26, 31, 32, 33, 34. That's 6. And then you've got 35 and 36. I'm going to run through these now. So I can get rid of this. I'm going off. Yeah, I can get rid of that because I'm going off these numbers over here now. So 41 to 45, 46, 51, 52, 54. If I do this right, it works out at the end where the last guy's is 66. I don't always do it right. 55 and 56. And, this one I'm going to mess up. I can already tell. I made a mistake because I have 6 numbers left, 61 through 66, but I only have 5 here to fill it. So I made a mistake somewhere. So 11 to 23 is right. 24, 25, 26, yep. 35 and 36, yep. 41 to 45, 41, 42, 43, 44, yep. 46, 51, 52, 53, 54. Okay, now where did I make a mistake? I'm confused. 55 and 56, so this will be 61, 62, 63 to 64, and 65. Oh, man, where did I make a mistake here, people? This doesn't make any, and this does equal 36. Yep. So 11 to 23, is that 9? 11 to 16 is 6, 21, 22, 23, so that's 9. 24 is your next number, 25, 26, 31, 32, 33, 34. Oh, there you go. That's a 3, not a 2. Oh, man, so these are all wrong. So it's actually 41 to 43, not 41 to 4. Wait. Oh, whoops. No. It's actually 35 to 41. There we go. Because he's a 3. I had 35 and 36. It's 35 to 41. So now we'll go 42 to 46, 51 to 55, 56 to 61, 62, 63, 64 and 65, and 66. Ooh, whoops. All right, so there you go. There are your receiving locators. So before every pass play, I'm going to roll the dice to determine the target. And depending on what the dice roll, it's going to give me who gets the ball. So percentage-wise, this should give me very similar to what they had in real life. And at the end of the game, when I show the targets, you'll see Biletnikoff probably got the most. Chester and Hubbard and Smith would be next. And then everybody else is going to be kind of sprinkled in there. So, it usually works. It should work. So now we'll do the carries. We'll do the same thing. We'll go 219, 170, 71, 30, and 9. We'll sum them up. Equals the sum of these 5. We'll divide it, each individual one, by its total. So M18 divided by M23. So Marv Hubbard is 44% of the carries, and so on. We'll cut across. I like to do this bottom row cut across like this because I can tell this should equal 1 and this should equal 36 as I'm going. So then we'll go equals N18 times 36 dice rolls. And we'll bring it down. And there you go. We've got our total. So now we're going to round them up. 16, 12, 5, 2, and 1. And that one equaled 36. So that worked out. Okay. And then he's going to be 11 to, let's see, 16 would be into the 30s. 11 to 34. So 11 to 26 is 12, 31, 32, 33, and 34. Yeah. So he's 11 to 34. And he is going to be 35 to 54, I think. He'll be 55, 56, 61, 62, 63. He'll be 64 and 65. And Don Highsmith is indeed 66. And there you go. And I will do it for sacks and interceptions. Let me just run through these quickly. 6, 3, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 4, 1 equals the sum. Divide each individual one by the sum. N25. And I'm putting if you're not an Excel person, I'm putting a dollar sign in there so that when I drag it down, M25, this number will increase, but the divider, what's the numerator and the denominator? The denominator will not change. So divided by, and it is M36. There's your dollar sign. So if you watch, when I drag this down, this changed to M26, but this stayed M36. And now this one, M27, but this stayed M36. You want that number to stay. You don't want it to change. So that way, if I drag it all the way down, we're always dividing by this number here. And I'll drag this across. And then I'll go, we'll get some dice rolls now. So N25 times 36. Oops, cancel. And we'll take it all the way down to get 36, which we do. Now we'll round it off. 9, 4, 4, 4, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 6, and 1. So you notice we're at 33. We need to be at 36. So in that case, I'm just going to take guys that I know. Like Villapiano, I know him. Let's give him an extra sack number. Gerald Irons, I know him. And I work with it's got to be Downtown Willie Brown. Why not? That'd be fun. So now we have 36. It'd be funny if that wasn't his nickname and I was just calling him that. All right, so Horace Jones, 11 to, he's got 9 dice rolls. That's going to be 11 to 24. And then 25, 26, 31, 32, 33 to 36, 41 to 44, 45 and 46, 51 and 52, 53, 54 and 55. Uh-oh, I made a mistake. Because this would be 61 to 66, and I got an extra one down there. So where did I make my mistake? So 11 to 24, is that 9? 11 to 24 would be 6. Oh, that's 10. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, it was the same thing as up here, wasn't it? 11 to 23. Yeah, so it's 11 to 23. This would be 24 to 31. Oops. Is that right? Actually, you know what? I'm not going to try to do that. Let's just start over here. So 11 to 23. 24, 25, 26, 31. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 41, 42, 43, 44 to 45, 46, 51, 52, 53, and 54, 55, and then 56 to 65 and 66. All right, there we go. And now let us do the interceptors here. 4, 3, 5, 4, 4, 4 equals the sum. And 32 is an interesting number. You always want it to be, if it can work out to be 36, it's perfect. Then you don't have to do any math. If it's 18, you pretty much don't have to do any math there either. So we're going to go equals M33 divided by M, what's our number? 43. Okay. And then boom, and then we'll come over here, and we'll go equals N33 times 6. Whoops, cancel. That doesn't seem right. I think I did something wrong, right? Divided by M. What is this? No, that's right. Okay, maybe it's right. Something doesn't seem right here. I did multiply. Oh, I did. Yeah, that's why. Because I multiplied it by 6, not 36. I knew that looked wrong. You do this enough times and you start to notice when things don't look right. Boom. All right, so let's round them off. 2, 2, 2, 2, 5, 3. And this is not going to give you exact by any stretch of the imagination, but it's close. And now I have to take somebody down a notch. Let us take down, let's go with one of these guys at the top here. Let's go with Tony Klein. I have no idea who he is. So we'll take Tony Klein down to get to 36. And we're going to go 11 to 12 for our Toms. Connors, 13 and 14. 15 and 16. Poor Tony Klein. And then 22 to 26 for Villapiano. 31 to 33. And then you got 34 to 43, 44 to 52, I think. And then 52, to 61. And then, and then 62 to 66. There you go. All right, the last thing that I do is I like to highlight the A receivers just so I can see them better. And there you go. The Oakland Raiders sheet is officially done. It took some time. What are we at? We're at 42 minutes. It never takes me that long. It took me that long because I'm talking to you guys at the same time. But there you go. Now I'm going to print it off. So we'll go File. Well, actually, first let's save it. And then we'll go File and Print. Boom. Find my printer. Come on. I haven't been in Vegas that long. Come on, it's there. I can see. Is it turned off? Hang on, let me check. Let me make sure it's not turned off. Oh, it is turned off. Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if this works. It looks like it went to sleep on me. Come on. Let's try that again. Yeah, now it says it's ready. So let's go print again. There we go. Now for some reason, okay, a lot of times if you have too many players, it'll want to go on the second page and I have to adjust the margins. Is it printing? Oh man, I hate printers. Printers, guys. Printers are the worst piece of technology out there in the world. It says it's ready. Everything looks like it's ready. I've got paper in there. Everything looks like it should look. Let's cancel this one. Seriously, printers are the absolute worst. So we're going to open active printers. Look at this. It's just sitting here. Why is it doing this? And now it gives an error. Why? God, I hate printers. Cancel all. Yes. We'll try it again. See what happens. Print. I'm going to go pages 1 to 1 here. I haven't even done anything. Oh, man. Okay, there we go. So page 2 has, I don't know why I did that. Page 2 has nothing on it. It's blank. So I'm just going to print page 1. Print. Is anything happening? It doesn't look like, so I'll have to print this later. Ugh, I hate printers. All right, so let's save. We're going to close. All right, now we got to do Pittsburgh. I'm going to do both of them here. I'm going to do them both. I know it's going to be a long video, and if you don't want to watch it, I get it. If you're a Pittsburgh fan, maybe you want to see some of the players. I get that. I am going to do that one next. Oh, it was the NASCAR one. There we go. All right, so let's open up Pittsburgh. Oh, first what I want to do, wait, before I do that, let's go back. what I do here next is I just take the same one that I just created. So I'm going to make a copy of it. So there's my copy. I'm going to do the same thing I did when I started the Raiders. I'm going to go Pittsburgh, Steelers. Oops. Man. All right, we'll open it up. And we'll delete everyone. And we'll clear this out. Fill. All right, we'll delete everyone. All right, let's make this the Steelers. Okay, let's get rid of the logos. And let's go back to Pro Football Helper. Let's click our Pro Football Reference. We'll click here. Might as well just do this now. We'll go snippy snip. And we'll grab a hold of this logo. That's not going to work. I cut off the side. So let's go with a new one. Do it again. This time I won't cut off the sides. There we go. All right, there we go. Okay. And then we'll go copy, Control C. Paste it in here. Make it smaller. Make a copy of it. And boom. All right, so now we've got our Steelers one all blank and ready for us to go. And let us go back to stream. No, let's go to NASCAR. There we go. All right, so we're gonna go back to here. Let's pull Pittsburgh out. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna sort the cards. I got my defensive backs, my skill players: Rocky Bleier, Mel Blount, middle linebacker, quarterback Bradshaw, Larry Brown is a skill player, safety, offensive line. So go through this really quick. Mean Joe Green is a 5. Look at that card. He's a 5. He's a QS 7, so he'll get some quarterback sacks in there. Mean Joe Green. LC Greenwood, another one. There's a 4. My guess is the Raiders had a really good offense, better than their defense. My guess is Pittsburgh's have a better defense than their offense. Jack Ham, he's a 4. Look at that W. Jack Ham is a linebacker. He's a W10. I did not know he picked off that many passes. Holy cow. Okay. Oh, Franco Harris. See, there's going to be an issue right there. Franco Harris is a 4, but you can see he's a 3-4. So unless I find somebody that's good against, so he's 3 against the pass, 4 against the run. The offense is a 3. You know, when he's in there, it's 3. When he's in there against the pass, when he's in there and they're going to run the ball, he's a 4. So I'll play that way. I definitely will play it. It's a pain, but I will play it. So he'll go there. Tackle, guard, EB. Where are we at? EB3. Frank Lewis, center. Ray Mansfield. Was he a? Okay. Ben McGee is a tackle. John McMakin. Gary Mullins. Gary Mullins, just like with the Raiders, he's a tackle, guard 3, ET2, C1. So if I start him, you can see he's also a 3 against the run, but 4 against when he's a pass. So the offense is definitely gonna be better when they're passing the ball. If he's in there, if he's a starter. Andy Russell. I don't even know who Andy Russell is. A linebacker 4. Never heard of him. All right. Ron Shanklin. I never heard of him. I don't know if I've ever heard of him. He's an EB4, A4. Brian Stenger, Bruce Van Dyke, Mike Wagner. Another 4. I've never heard of Mike Wagner either. Holy cow. Another 4. W6. They must have picked off some passes. Bobby Walden is your punter. George Webster. I saw Webster went to offensive line. Dwight White is a 4. His parents are comedians. Chuck Winfrey, and then Al Young. So there's all your players. So we'll get the offense out of the way. And we'll do the defense first. All right, so we'll start with our defensive line. So they also have tackles. So they'll be a 4-3. Let's see. Mean Joe Green. And then we've got, see now, here's a good case right here. Let's make sure none of our linebackers play outside line, play defensive end. Oh, here we go. I screwed up. LC Greenwood is the defensive end. Because I only had 2 guys left, and they were both 2s. And like I said, good teams usually get at least 3 at every position. I had mixed LC Greenwood in with the linebackers. So we've got Dwight White, Ernie Holmes, Mean Joe Green, and LC Greenwood. And on our linebacker core, we're going to have 3 of them. So Andy Russell, Jack Ham, and Henry Davis. So far, this is a pretty good defense. We're averaging 4 across the front 7. That's pretty good. Okay, and then we'll look at the defensive backs. Oh my, we're gonna have this is gonna be a great. This is gonna be we're gonna be in the mid 40s. This is amazing. So we got Mike Wagner as a free safety. We've got John Rouser, Rouser. He's a 4 as a cornerback. Mel Blunt, and our only we got how many? We have 2 3s. That's it. We have 2 3s on the defense. Ralph Anderson is the other one. Wow. So we're going to be at, what, 42, I think? 42. Did I just get an alert? It sounded like I did. All right, so there's your defense. So let's pick them up in the right order. We're going to start with Dwight White and Ernie Holmes. We'll go to, who's our middle linebacker? It's going to be Henry Davis. So he'll be our middle linebacker. Then we go tackle, end, and then we go linebacker, corner. And what is it? I don't know if it's strong safety or free safety. It is strong safety. There's no way. All right, so there's your defense. Got your defense and your backups. I think they're going to be a 43. I think the Raiders were a 41 on offense, so Pittsburgh should have the advantage when they're on defense. All right, next. Next, we will pull out the offense. We'll start with our quarterback. We know that's Bradshaw. He's a 3. This is 72 Bradshaw. I feel like Bradshaw gets better as the 70s go on. I could be wrong about that. Okay, so he's at there. So let's go to our offensive line now. We got Bruce Van Dyke as a 4. We got Ben McGee as a 4. We got Ray Mansfield as a 4. We got John Kolb as a 4. And, we're going to have put a 3 out there. So we got guard, tackle. We need a tackle. Here. We need a guard. So it looks like it's going to be Sam Davis as a 3. Or Mullen. You know what? So here's what you got. You got Sam Davis as a 3. Right? So that means he's a 3 against the pass and a 3 against the run. Go back to Jerry Mullins. Even though he's an ET2, he's a 3-4. So he's a 3 against when the offense is on a pass. He's a 4 against the run. So because he's got that 4 on there, I'm going to put him in, even though I don't want to, because it's going to throw off the pass versus run. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So he is going to be your other starting offensive lineman because he's got the 3-4, not the 3-3. All right, let's look at our skill players. We've got Ron Shanklin as an EB4. Preston Pearson he played for Pittsburgh? Did he play for Dallas? As a halfback 3. He's also our OA, so we got to keep that in mind. McMakin as a tight end 3. Franco Harris is a 4. You got Frenchie Fuqua as a fullback, halfback. So we'll see what we can do here. Any other 3s? Frank Lewis. Everybody else is a 2, including Rocky Blyer. Everybody else is a 2. So we're going to put those aside for now. We're going to decide which one of these halfbacks. Obviously, we're going to take out. We're going to leave Franco Harrison, obviously. I mean, he's a 4. He stays. He's a 3-4. He stays in. But now we're going to decide between Preston Pearson as our fullback or Frenchie Fuqua as our fullback. And I'm going to go with the same reason. You can see that Pearson is a 3. And because there's nothing on the far right, he's a 3-3. But Frenchie Fuqua is a 3-4. So that means this team is really, really good when they're running the ball. I can already tell. So we'll take Preston Pearson. We'll put him aside. He's also our OA. So we got to remember to use him on kickoff returns. Yeah, so here's our offense. So we'll grab them in the right order. We'll go. Our number 1 receiver is Shanklin. Then we go tackle, guard, center, guard. Guard and tackle. Then we go tight end, and then it's going to be John McMakin, quarterback, fullback, EB, and running back. So this is our offense. And then we've got our other guys over here, our backup skill players, our backup quarterbacks, and our kicker and our punter. So now we're going to start typing them in. So let's go back to here, and we'll do the same thing I did for Oakland. Start with the offense. Bring out Ron Shanklin is going to be first. And he is a 4. We'll put him over here as an A4. Then we'll go John Kolb. John Kolb is a tackle 3, center. I'm sorry, tackle 4, center 3. So we're going to use him at tackle because that's where I always go. I always try to make the highest rating possible for both teams. We'll go with Bruce Van Dyke. Sorry, I have a little bit of dyslexia. But now he is a 3-4, so that's all. Now you can see already that against the pass, they're an 11. Their offense is an 11. But when they're running the ball, they're a 12. And you're going to see that a lot with this offense. Ray Mansfield. He is a 4. Jerry Mullins, no relation. Spelled with a G. He is a 3-4. He's also a C1. So we're going to type him in here. He is exactly the same as Jim Otto for the Raiders. Okay, and then we got Ben McGee. You know what? Ben McGee is a defensive. Ben McGee's a defensive guy. I mixed him up. I do that every now and then with the tackles. Yeah, let me see here. So yeah, here we go. Yeah, Ben McGee. He's on defense. He's not on offense. So let's put him to the side. Let's find a new offensive lineman. I need a right tackle. And there aren't very many of them. In fact, I might have to put a 2 in. Let's see what we got here. Oh, no, we have a guard 3. Okay. So let's get back to this. All right, so we have a guard 3. So can I play one of these? Yeah, look at that. Jerry Mullins. He'll play both tackle and guard. So what I'll do is I'll move him because this guy is only a guard. So then I'll move Jerry Mullins. And then we'll put Sam Davis. Great name. Sam Davis. There we go. Okay. So let's put these back in order. There we go. All right, back to this. So then John McMakin is a tight end 3. He is a BC 2. That means he's a B on short passes, and he's a C on medium and long passes. Got Bradshaw. So their offense actually going to be a little bit lower. Their defense is going to crush it. And he is a 3. Got Frenchie Fuqua. I'll type John because that's what it has on here. But isn't his nickname? Isn't he Frenchie for some reason? 3-4. And he's also a C2. Okay. We got Frank Lewis. He's an EB3. He's a B3. Whoops. And finally, we got Franco Harris. And he's a 3-4. So we got how many guys? 1, 2, 3. We got 4 guys that are 3-4. So on offense, there are 36 again when they're passing the ball, but there are 40 when they're running the ball. Okay. So now let's bring out our backups. So you got Preston Pearson. He is a C1. You got Al Young. You got Steve Davis. I'll tell you what, with names like Al Young, Steve Davis, Frank Lewis, Sam Davis, and it being Pittsburgh, I feel like these are guys that were like just pulled out of the steel mill. You know, hey, Al Young, why don't you come play wide receiver for us? You know, that kind of thing. I don't know. And Larry Brown. Wait, that Larry? Not that Larry Brown. C1. Rocky Blyer, a name that we all know. Rocky Blyer does not have a number. He's a C. That's it. So he didn't get passes thrown to him, which is weird as a halfback that he didn't get passes thrown to him. Was he young? 46 to 72. He's 26? Yeah, he's 26 when this game goes off. Okay. So he didn't catch any. So I'm not going to put him in the passing chart. We're going to end it with Warren Bankston. See, that's a guy who was working on Pittsburgh's Wall Street, Warren Bankston. He came down and said, I can play fullback. I'm just a big fat guy. Put me in. And they did. All right. So we got that done, so we can get rid of this. We'll just go no border, and then we'll go bottom border. Oh, top border. There we go. Okay. And if we want, we can do these now. I generally don't do that, but it's such a pain. So we can go 4, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 equals the sum. What did I type? Stupid fat fingers. I used to be able to text and type with no problem. Now I can't do it anymore. I blame AI. Equals M5 divided by M15. All right. Equals N5 times 36. Okay, so let's delete these. Round it off. 8, 2, 4, 4, 6, 2, 2, 2, 2, and we're missing 2. So we're gonna go to the people I know, which is very little of them. Let's go Preston Pearson. I know him. Let's make him a 3. And I tell you what, I did not realize that Stallworth and Swan didn't play for Pittsburgh in '72. I had no idea. Let's go to oh man, who are we gonna give this extra one to? Not Jerry. Let's take Jerry Mullins down since he's an offensive lineman. And we'll just put these guys as 3s. We'll just do that. All right, so 8. That's 11 to 22. Mullins is going to be a 23. 24, 25, 26, 31. 32, 33, 34, 35. 36 to 45. 46 to 52. 53, 54, 55. 56 to 62. 63 and 64, 65 and 66. So we're done with that. All right. Let's get the running backs carries now. So in real life, here it is, attempts. All right. So it's going to be Franco Harris with 188. It's going to be Frenchie Fuqua with 150. It's going to be Preston Pearson with 67. Now, the Bradshaw was next with 50. 58. 58 is a pretty high number. I like to think that the card is handling that. So if we look at Bradshaw's card, right here. So the run numbers are 26 and 27. So if I look at Bradshaw's card and I see a lot of 26s and 27s. So I see one at 12, 32, 52. So that actually is pretty good. And there's one at 41. So that means 4 of the 36 possible dice rolls he's going to run the ball. That's 1 out of 9. Yeah, I'm not going to put him into the running backs carries like I would Randall Cunningham because I think his card is going to handle it. So we'll just skip him and we'll go to like Steve Davis with 20. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to do the guy with 7. So that means that, what's his name? Rocky Blyer. Rocky Blyer didn't do anything this season in terms of getting the ball. It's kind of surprising. So how many did he have? 20? Yeah, he had 20. All right, so we have 4 guys that run the ball for Pittsburgh. No border. Top border, okay. So we might as well do this one too. 188, 150, 67, and 20 equals the sum of these 4. I'm going to go equals, what is that going to be? M18 divided by M22. And then we'll go equals N18 times 36. Then we'll round it up, 16, or round it off, 13, 6, 2. So now we've got 1 too many. And 1 too many. So what I'll do here is I'll backtrack. Let's see who was the closest one to not being round off. It's Preston Pearson, 5.67. So he's 0.67 of being rounded off. So we'll take it from him. There we go. All right, so we got 36. All right, Franco. So we need 11 to 34. And then Fuqua, 35 to 55. And then 5 for him is 56. And that's going to be to 64. And that'll be 65 and 66. There you go. Okay. All right. So there you go. You got your offenses done. It's all finished. So what I'll do is I'll highlight the only A. And we're done. Offense is finished. So now let's go to the defense. And that's the big one. I'm really curious about this defense. All right. We'll start with Dwight White. Let me get the card here. Oh, man, you weren't on the right place. Sorry about that. There we go. So now the offense is done. You can see him there. Okay. So let's start with Dwight White. Oh, no, you want to see the screen for this. There we go. Okay, so Dwight White. Dwight White. His parents were jokesters. He's a 4. He's also a QS6. And Ernie Holmes, one of our few 3s you're going to see. He's a 3 as a defensive tackle. And he is a QS4. Then you've got Henry Davis. He is a 4. He is a W3. And QS1 as your middle linebacker. You've got Mean Joe Green, who likes Coke. And he's a 5. He's a QS7. You've got L.C. Greenwood. He's a 4, and he's a QS3. You got Andy Russell. I was hoping this card set would have, was it Robin Cole? Was that his name? I met him once. Seemed like a nice guy, even though he was a Steeler. See, I'm not a Steelers fan, guys. You're gonna find out. I'm gonna try to keep my Steelers dislike to myself while I'm playing this. But I thought it would be fun to play these two teams because they were both really good in the 70s. I got to see what the final score was in real life. Jack Ham. So Jack Ham, I'm surprised at the W10. I am surprised at that. I had no idea. I mean, he's a linebacker, but I always thought he was a bigger guy sacking quarterbacks. He's a W10. QS1. John Rousdower. John Rouser. 4. And a W4. He's a 4. W4. Mel Blunt. I used to be able to type so well. Blunt. He's a 4. He's a W3. And a QS1. You got Ralph Anderson. He is a 3. He's a W4. And a QS1. And finally on the starting here, we got Mike Wagner. He is a 4. So they are a 43 defense. That's just a lot. And he is a W6. All right, so now let's get the backups out. And that's going to be Steve Furness is who we're going to start with. And he is a QS1. And Craig Hanneman. He's a QS1. Chuck Winfrey is nothing. George Webster's nothing. Brian Stenger. When I say nothing, I mean if you look at their card, they don't have a QS rating or a W rating, so they're nothing in that case. So you're not going to hear their name very often. I don't play with injuries, so let's see who we got next. There we go. Glenn Edwards is a W3. He's also our punt return. I'm going to put him aside. And then John Dockery is a cornerback, 2. He's nothing. And Lee Callan is up. So we're good. All right, so we got everybody. Put him aside. Glenn Edwards is our punt return. He's our TANTB, so that's going to make it easy. All right, so Hanneman was a 1. Hanneman was a 1. All right, so let's do our locators. 6, 4, 1, 7, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. We'll go equals the sum of all of them. And then, 27 is an interesting number because it's divisible by 9, just like 36. So M, you're going to see a whole bunch of small, you'll see some weird decimal points. I'm going to guess a lot of 0.3333 and a 0.6667 is my guess. So M25 divided by M $36. Boom. 2, yeah. There you go. Okay. That's close. All right, so boom. Let's go with the equals N25 times 36 dice rolls. 8. That's going to make it easy. Have to round that one off. All right, so they're all ends with 3s. So we'll just go 5. I'm going to end up with not enough here. I can already tell. So 9, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I got 33. I need to add 3. Generally, I add them to the starters, or if they're names I know. Like Jack Ham. I know Jack Ham. Let's give him 1. And Mel Blount. There we go. Okay, so we got her. So they might get more sacks in my game than they do in real life because I just added an extra little locator for them, but that's okay. 11 to 23 is 8. No, 11 to 22. And then 23 to 31. 23, 24, 25, 26, 31. 32 and 33. 34 to 44 is 7. Anytime you go from the same second number, 34 to 44, it's always 7 dice rolls. So that's an easy one to work out. So then we go 34 to 44, so we go 46 to get 9. 51, again, that's just something you learn once you've done it like 6,000 times like I have. 54, 55, 56 and 61, 62 and 63, 64, 65, and 66. All right, next. Let's do interceptions. Actually, I don't need this. No border. We'll go here and we'll go bottom border. Boom. All right, not a lot of interception players, but probably a lot of interceptions. 10, 4, 3, 4, 6, 3 equals the sum. Equals the sum of these 8. Oh, this is close. This one's going to be close to their actual numbers because it's 34, so close to 36. And only 2 guys are going to get a bump up a little bit. So M41. Oh, nice. I didn't know you can do that. All right, so we'll go here. We'll go equals N33 times 36. 2 guys are going to get bumped up. So we got a 3, a 1. He's one of them. A 4, a 3. We need one more. A 6 and a 3. Who are we going to bump up? Let's bump up. He got bumped up. Anybody else any good? Mike Wagner. Let's bump him up. Oops, not 78. Let's make him 7. All right. Boom. So we go 11 to 13, 14. This is a big one. 15 to 25. 15 to 35 is going to be 14. 15. So 15 to 25 is 7. 26, 31, 30. I think it's 33, I think. So we'll figure it out if I got it wrong or not. 34, 35, 36, 41. 42, 43, 44. 45, 46, 51, and 52. There you go. There's 7, so you know it's 53 to 63. And then that leaves 3 left. So that's perfect. Boom. Done. All right, so all we got left now is the runs and passes. And so Pittsburgh had 497 rushing attempts that year. And they had how many passing attempts with our guy Bradshaw? 324. So this is another run-heavy team. This is probably 55. Oh, that's 60-40 also. So both teams are going to be 60-40. So when I'm rolling the dice for play calling, it's going to be 1 through 12. 1 through 6 inside run, 7 through 12 for both of them. And there you go. We're done with Pittsburgh. So we can save it. Whoops, we can save it. And we are finished. And that's it. That's how I do it. I know it took a long time. Where are we at? We are at about an hour and 15. Usually takes me about an hour. The reason that the good thing about that is that I did it once. So if I want to play with Pittsburgh again, I just use the same sheet. I don't have to redo it every time. Let's look at the box score of this game. This was a 34-28 win by Pittsburgh. Yeah, Pittsburgh won this 34-28. Let's check. The only thing I do in terms of what happened in the real game, like right here, look at this. They have Ken Stabler, George Blanda, and Daryl LaMonica all getting tosses in this game. My guess is Stabler started, Blanda came in, and then LaMonica finished. That's what I'm going to do. That's the only thing that I do that is like real life. I'm not going to look at anything else. I'm not going to look at carries or returns. I'm just going to deal with the quarterbacks. Bradshaw played by himself. He was terrible. 38-24, and we got 6 total interceptions between the 4 quarterbacks. Holy cow. So I will start with Stabler now. In looking at Stabler, actually, before I do that, let me get everything sorted here for Pittsburgh. So we'll go back to here. So I will grab a hold of the starters. Starters are right here. I will get Shanklin out of there. There's your offensive line. We got Bradshaw. We know Harris and Fuqua are going to be your ball carriers. Who else? Who else was it besides those two? All right, close it. Harris, Frenchie Fuqua, Preston Pearson, and I wrote Stever. Steve Davis, not Stever. So give me Preston Pearson and Steve Davis. There's one. There's the other one. Put them in the order that they carried. There. So we got Bradshaw and the running backs. Now I need my special teams players. So you got Roy Jarella as your kicker and kickoff guy. Bobby Walden as your punter. You got your TA, TB right here. So I only need to find OA and OB. And I know I found it earlier. I don't remember who it was. So it's not those guys. Is it one of these receivers or one of these running backs? No. Is it one of these running backs? Franco is your OB. That's good. He'll be out there anyway. And Preston Pearson's your OA. That's perfect because they'll both be out there. So I'll just put those guys there. I'll take the receivers. Stick them on top of the backups. Stick them on top of the backup, the offensive line. Backup offensive line. Where's my quarterbacks? There they are. And there's your offensive side of the ball. And now we need... Oh, you know what? I messed up. Okay, so I just realized I forgot about this. Remember I had him on the offensive side? So he can go in and play defense because if you look, he's a 4 right here. I forgot about him. I have a 3 in there. So let's add him in there. So Ben McGee is actually going to be your defensive tackle. And he's a 4. He's also a QS1. Oh, I forgot to put that in there. Oh, man, I have to recalculate all these. All right, so let's go all borders. But that's what we do here, kids. We do this right. I like to do this the correct way. Man, I have to go through all of these now and recalculate. I don't know if I want to do that. Let's do this. Didn't I add one to somebody? I think I added one to Mel Blunt. So let's go 62, 63, 64, 65. Because he's a 1, he's a QS1, we'll just do that. There. Cheated a little bit, but so what? All right, so save. That did, whoops, not share. That did, save. That did increase their defense up to 44 now. All right, so we'll go in. We'll put Ben McGee in there. We got our backups. And now we have our team. We'll go back to here. So we have Pittsburgh. We have Oakland. Let's take a look at these quarterbacks. Because the one thing that we're going to do, if we're going to start the quarterbacks, is we're going to observe the ratings correctly. So if I look back to here, so you got Pittsburgh's defense right here and Oakland's offense. So Daryl LaMonica is a 4, but he didn't start the game. Kenny Stabler started the game. Kenny Stabler he's a 2. Who was the next quarterback that came in? It was Blanda, our kicker. Blanda, I think he's also a 2. He's a QB2. Look at this. So, back to here. So look at this. Stabler is going to start. He's a 2. Blanda, your kicker, he'll come in next. He's also a 2. And then we'll put LaMonica in, who is a 4, sometime in the second half. Let me put those guys. We'll get it out there. So that means that Pittsburgh's a 44. Their offense is going to go down to 39 when this game starts. Oakland, this right here, this is going to be a 39. That means Pittsburgh's going to be a +5 with ththose other 2 quarterbacks in there when they're on defense. And then when I bring in LaMonica, they're going to drop down to +3. And I'll take a look at the number of carries. So if we do that, so we have they each got a total number of the same number of throws. So we'll have Stabler come in and play into the second quarter. I'll have Blanda come in and play, somewhere near the end of the third quarter, and then I'll have LaMonica come in and finish. Is kind of how we'll do it. So I'll just kind of play it by ear. But that's how we'll do it, and that's going to be it for this video. I know it's a bit of a long one. I hope you made it to the end. And the next video I put out, it might be tonight. I won't wait until tomorrow night. It's a busy week for me again in terms of fantasy football drafts. I have a fantasy football draft every night starting today through Thursday. I have 2 on Thursday. One of them is while the game is happening. So Friday would be the next time I can play after tomorrow. So look for this game coming out this week. And thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you got something out of this. If not, I hope you enjoyed it at least. I try to be entertaining. See you later.